Good morning YouTube friends, my name is Jackie. Welcome back to Gone Potty Gardening. Well, I've been pottering around in the garden for the last few days and my main focus has been compost. So I'll take you out there in a minute and show you the compost that we've created from last year, which would be good because we need it for planting potatoes, for all the buckets for the tomato plants and all things like that. But first of all, what I'm doing, I'm potting on a few little bits that were in this polytunnel, so that in my mind I know, right, that's done. So what I'm doing is potting on Brussels sprouts. Now in these little pots were what I did in the last video actually. These were sown then, and yeah, so they're in these tiny little pots. So all I'm going to do basically is pot them on all into this big one, and when they get big enough I'll just plant them straight outside, probably depending on the weather, probably under fleece. So yeah, I've got quite a few to sort out, but I don't want them to get sort of like it's pushing the soil up already in there. So yeah, I just want to transfer them to this bigger pot. With the Brussels sprouts, I thought, you know, even though I've got so many plants, I'm just going to grow them because the chickens are eat them and they love them, so I'll have plenty to share. So there you are, that's them potted on into that big pot, and when they get quite tall, I'm hoping that I'll be able to just tip the pot a little bit and then I'll be able to plant them all out in the garden. Obviously they'll probably, like I say, have to go under fleece for a while. Yeah, but so that's one little job done. I've also got some this is dwarf kale, curly kale, and this was brilliant last year and it lasted for a long time, and even in the colder months. So this is something that I love. I'm definitely going to grow a lot of, which I have, look. So I'm going to transplant them in to just one of these pots, and then I'll get outside and I'll show you the composting. And we've actually bought a new bin and it's a nice bin, so I'll show you that in a minute. So I've transplanted them into one of the bigger pots as well. Usually I would do them individually, but this year I'm going to do it this way because it takes up less space, less time. I can leave them in there until they're big enough just to put in the garden. Yeah, so there's a fair few plants there. I picked out the stronger ones, so yep, that's all good. And these are staying in the polytunnel until obviously they're big enough to go outside, and then I have to harden them off. I'll show you what I've been doing in this polytunnel. These are some of the things that are just slightly starting to come up. These are all year round cauliflower, and there's a few other little, they're onions. With them I shall pot as they are outside when they're big enough. And they're a different variety of onion because last year I couldn't seem to get those spring onions going. So yeah, I've got to wait for a few of the other bits to come through. But in the evening I just cover it with this, and they seem to be fine. There's the pot that I've just done. These are pak choy. Brilliant last year, and I did it this way with these last year, and I've just been covering them at night with the plastic. The potatoes are chitting. Some of them are a bit slower. This end is a little bit slower, but that's all right. Some people don't chit potatoes at all, but it gives them a bit of a head start if you do chit them. Under here I'm growing microgreens. Now some of them have to be kept in the dark for a while, so that's what I've been doing, look. And they've all come, well, they're coming through, aren't they? I can't remember what they are now. What's this one? Broccoli. Oh, so that's micro broccoli. I'm going to put the lid back on because these ones are not quite through, are they? What ones are these? fenugreek or geek, and these end ones here are pink kale, and I've actually just found some coriander ones, so I'll start them off, I think. But I definitely need to keep this end one covered. There are charts online that tell you how long you have to keep them in the dark for. So these have been in the dark probably for about 3 days, 4 days. So yeah, well actually I'll leave that one uncovered because it's through now. I might cover that end one for a bit longer, and this one. So I'll just tear a bit of cardboard off and lay it on the top. I'll probably leave them under there for another probably 3 days or something like that, and see how they go. Like I say, online there are places that you can look at, Pinterest and stuff like that, for microgreens, and all different, depends on what variety you're growing. They need different amount of darkness days, so it's best to check up. But yeah, they're good for you, they're good for everything, meals, salad, anything, shakes. The onions all seem to be sprouting up okay. It won't be that long and I'll put them out. Some of the brown ones are coming through, but the red ones are really slow. I think I've only got one there, look, so far coming through. I'll have to just take it there a bit slower, so be a bit more patient with them ones. Now, composting is one of my all-time favourites in gardening. It's amazing, you know, this year I didn't even worry about what I was putting in the compost, and surprisingly we got some really lovely results. I'll show you. So we've got these wooden pallet bins which I built quite a while back now. There is a video, but yesterday I spent my time sorting out the compost, and we've ended up with a great big heap in there of lovely compost. I've just tipped some worm juice in there, but yeah, really lovely. So we've got plenty there which we're going to need, and another one in this one, and that's lovely too, really nice. And what I'll do is probably cover that, well, both of them, so that there doesn't get any seeds go in there. So including those bays, there's 3 bays in there. We've actually got another compost bin up there which we recently purchased, and I'll show you that in a sec, and we've got a spinning bin. So plenty of composting going on this year as well. I mean, it's expensive to buy, so if you can create your own compost, it's amazing. So I'll come and show you the other bin. Here we are. It's a lovely, it's on rollers at the bottom, as you can see, so you just need to push it and it turns. But we picked this up on the local marketplace for half the price it would have cost if we'd have bought it new. And yeah, so it spins away. As you can hear, I've already started some compost in there. And there's the, there. I'll put a bit of hay in there. I've got some wet compost to put in there, you see. But I put it in that position, which is there, because it's in full sun and it will heat it up nicely as well. But in the other spinning bin I've got loads of worms. Now this is the other bin we've got all rainwater on the top, and it's quite heavy now. But what I'm going to do is empty this into here, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. Now here is some that I've taken out of that bin. As you can see, some of it's partially decomposed, but the amount of worms in there is incredible. Yeah, look, it's absolutely teeming with worms, so that's given me a good idea. I'm going to start my wormery off, and I'll obviously they'll breed, and then I'll have worms for fishing as well. But also I'm going to add some of this to that other compost bin that I've just shown you along there. Some of this partially decayed stuff will do okay in there. I'll mix it in with the hay, you know, the browns as they call it. And these worms will help break down the food. So it is amazing, and you know, give it a go, the old composting, you can't beat it. So what I'll do is I'm gonna get a piece of card and take this down to the Wormery, and I'm gonna start that off. So I'll take you with me. Now I've stood this Wormery on the table just for now, but that's not its permanent place because obviously the wind will take that away. But I need to get something to lift it off of the ground, enough for that tap to be able to release any fluid, which will be worm, they call it worm tea, and collect that, and it's great for the plants. But yeah, I've just washed it out. Let's get it open. So that's what it's like down in the bottom, and if you lift that up, there's a bit of a gap, and that's where the water goes, hence where you would let it out with a tap. So I'm gonna go and get some cardboard and just put a little bit in the bottom there. Yeah, I've just put some cardboard in there. Now I'm going to transfer that bit into this worm bin, and then eventually I'll get loads of worms. So I've added the rest of that to the bin, and gradually every now and again I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll just add a little bit of you know, compost. I'll add a bit of vegetable peelings and things to it, and yeah, so there you go, there's my worm bin started. Like I say, I'm going to find a couple of big bricks to put underneath so that lifts that off of the floor, and then we'll be well away. This is little Nellie. I can't remember how old she is now, probably about 4 months maybe, but just over. And this is Billy, he's a wether. And we'll be getting another little girl soon, and we're going to call her Rusty. I'll stick a little picture up for you. Hey, Nellie. Nellie, Nellie, Nellie. These are the little chicks, they're getting bigger now. They're both females then. There's another one over there. And that one there is the one male that came out of him. And they all seem to be getting on all right, so I'm just going to leave them. Hey! In the garden over the winter I did manage to cover a lot of the beds. Still a couple up the back there that I haven't done. But what I think I'm going to do is take that down and move this bed over here up so I can get to the gate better. And put another bed in there as well, so they're all kind of together. So yeah, still a lot to do. It's an ongoing project, isn't it? I'll show you the garlic. They're growing well. This is the elephant garlic, and that'll be great because I won't get so many weeds through there. So I've finished emptying that bin, and I've added some to that, some of the worms in there to help break that down. I've moved the other compost bin next to that one. That one's got some worms in it as well, and I've added worms to that, so it's all going to help break down the material when I add it to there. So yeah, really pleased about that. And of course the bonus, I've got me wormery going, and yeah, that's got the worms in obviously, and some partially decomposed vegetables and stuff. So all in all, a good productive couple of hours. The wind's picking up now, so I'm sure it's going to rain, but at least I've got those few jobs done first. I mean, it was a big surprise to me to see all them worms in that bin. Oh my god. So it's helped out in loads of ways. It's going to help all those bins to break down materials that I can use in the garden to grow our lovely vegetables. So yeah, that's a good start. I think the rest of the day I'm going to spend having a little bit of a tidy up. There's loads to do this time of the year. I've planned out my planting, so I'll take you along with me when I plant stuff, sow stuff, and yeah. But anybody can make compost, honestly, and just give it a go. You know, you can do it in containers, preferably dark containers. They don't like the light worms, and you know, put some holes in the bottom, put it on some bricks, put cardboard or newspaper in the bottom, start off with your veggie peelings and stuff like that, and don't forget to add your browns, the likes of leaves, bits of wood chippings, you know, stuff like that, and it soon breaks down. I mean, everyone gets a little bit of fruit that goes off and stuff like that. That can all go in the compost bin. So yeah, it's great. It's great news that we've got that, and that's a great start for this season. And I'm pleased with the amount of compost, because we are going to use, like I say, a lot of it in growing the potatoes in bags and the tomatoes in the polytunnel. Now I've uncovered all the seedlings in the polytunnel during the day, and I will go and cover them back up at night, because we're still getting some really cold mornings, 2 degrees and things like that. So but yeah, all doing well. I've got some tomato plants indoors. I'm going to leave them till they get a bit bigger. They're mostly plum tomatoes, you know, for cooking. Roma and a different variety, I can't remember, I did record the video. But yeah, that's it for now, folks. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I love reading your comments, and that helps the channel grow. The interaction on the channel, the thumbs up, the comments, is brilliant. And thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.
Why not come and join me on Facebook or Instagram? The link is in the description.